What is IRC? IRC stands for Internet Relay Chat, which is a primarily text-based protocol. This allows users to have a chat medium where they can chat in chat channels, which are also referred to as chat rooms. They can have one-on-one communication via private messages, as well as direct client-to-client chats or direct client-to-client transfers, thus leading to file sharing. Let's take a look at IRC for fun and how you would get on. So IRC for fun makes it pretty easy. We have several web-based services that you can use to log on to IRC for fun if you don't have an IRC client installed. If you do have an IRC client installed, you can direct it to irc.ircforfun.net on either port 6667 or preferably 6697 for a secured connection. Again, on our website, we do have several different web chats that you can use. We recommend IRC Cloud and Kiwi IRC the highest. So those are the ones that you'll see more predominantly on our websites. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and check out the web chat. Alright, so we need to think of a nickname, and let's go with demo user. And we'll set the channel to # IRC for fun. Let's tell it to connect. And then we are connected. We also have a full screen chat page as well if you prefer that. We also have new users guides for beginners in case you're not watching this YouTube video. So we are connected. As you can see, it shows 36 users and all of the users that are in this channel right now. Now, that's not all users that are on the IRC for Fun network, but that's all the users that are on the channel number IRC for Fun. You may hear me refer to channels instead of saying pound, whatever the channel name is, I'll say number and then whatever the channel name is. Just kind of makes it easier, for me anyway. So as you can see, we are connected. We can essentially send private messages. Let's go down. There's X, who's familiar. We could either send X a message, or we could get some information, which basically just shows a who is for that user. So if I want to do a who is on X, X displays relatively little who is information since it is a services server. Now, if you wanted to do a who is on someone else, let's go down to that pesky Synapse, and then we can see all of the channels that Synapse myself is on. You can see that I'm an IRC operator, and that I am logged in as Synapse, and that I'm also using a secure connection. It also tells you how long I've been idle for and when I signed on. So again, those are going to be, DB's talking. Those are going to be the basic pointers. And if I wanted to talk to people in the chat channel, all I have to do is type in a message in the send message box. Hi. testing out the Kiwi IRC web chat. Feel free to ignore me. And there's going to be a lot to learn with IRC. The next big question on your mind is probably going to be, how do I do anything on IRC? Well, for the most part, all of the commands on IRC are going to be preceded with a /. So say I wanted to do a whois on DB, for example. Instead of actually clicking him, I can actually do the command and type /whois DB, enter, and then it reports DB's whois information. If I wanted to get a list of channels, I could type /list, and then I am shown a list of channels with how many users are in those channels and the channel topics. So if I found one that I wanted to join, I could just tell it to join that channel. But yeah, list will come in helpful if you wanted to get a list of channels that are actively on the network. Say that you wanted to change your nickname. You would type /nick demo user, and we'll just add a silly character. And then now my nickname is demo user with the silly character. So again, variety of commands are going to be / and then whatever the action is. If I wanted to join another channel, let's say that I wanted to join, let's see, let me think of a good one. If I wanted to join the lobby, which is an unofficial channel, but it is run by one of our administrators as well, then typing /join number lobby, that joins me into the lobby. Say I want to leave, I could type /part number lobby, and then I leave the lobby. So those are going to be the general basics. Once you get on IRC for fun, you could obviously ask us for more help, and we'd be more than willing to provide that help to you. We also have a help desk as well, in case any of us are not at our computers when you sign on and ask. We'll jump to that topic a little bit later as well. Now, your next question is going to be, who is X, and what is it? Well, X is IRC for Fun's channel service server, or you could call it a robot. X is responsible for providing stability to channels that are registered within X after they undergo a application process. So a registered channel will always have X inside, unless the channel decides they don't want X in there. They can unset the auto join flag in X, which is another topic. But X provides a lot of needed stability to channel managers, also referred to as channel founders. They can set preserved access lists. They can set internal preserved bans. They can tell X to opt them, which gives them the operator privileges in that channel if they have access to do so. And that allows users to be channel operators, which can then moderate the channel and either kick users out provide them voice, unvoice them, basically control the channel. X also does a whole lot of other things for IRC for fun as well. It allows you to register a username within X so that you can be added to channels that are registered that have X inside. And that's going to be a big benefit, not only in the sense that you can register to get access to channels, but when you have a registered username with X and you log into it, it also sets a flag so that if you are trying to join a protective channel that has a restrictive mode set, like plus lowercase r, which prohibits unidentified users or unlogged in users from joining the channel. So, and there's Tab, another one of our administrators for IRC for fun. He is actually my right-hand man. Could not have gotten this far without Tab, so awesome. Love you, Tab. Moving on. Now, a very, very common question that comes up almost all of the time, and I mean, it's kind of a question as well as a statement. People often ask, why aren't people talking when I join? Well, the reason for that, you have to consider, are also going to be a variety of factors. First, everybody has real lives. So some people like to leave their computers connected to IRC and return to it whenever they have time. That has been pretty much the norm since IRC started. Now there's better ways for users to accomplish that. They can get ZNCs, bouncers, different things like that, even IRC Cloud, so that they can connect and have all of that information there. So you have to also remember, users are not going to always be active. You have to also add into the consideration time zones. I can speak for IRC for fun. A lot of us are either Canadian or American as far as our staff group goes right now. So that means that if you are on the opposite side of the world and you happen to join at a time and say hello, you may not get a response for quite a few hours. So patience is a virtue. If you're looking for immediate, grabbing chat, that's very hard to find nowadays unless you are involved in a conversation or a message, like an instant messenger with someone. And instant messengers have actually taken away from some of IRC's users as well as social media over the years. I still honestly prefer IRC above social media, especially given all the social media breaches and malicious use of data. So I still prefer IRC as my primary communication method with most people that I care to stay in contact with. Next to last. I've heard bad things about IRC. Is it true? Well, that kind of depends, because there's a lot of things that some people may interpret as bad, some people may interpret it as not as bad, and some people may not interpret it as bad at all. So that is really subjective. Now, if you're asking if things of an illegal nature are allowed. Most commonly, on IRC for fun at least, they are not. So, for example, opening a channel and trying to use it for malicious activities, that is not allowed on IRC for fun. So when we find those, we do shut those channels down and usually ban any users that were involved in those channels from reconnecting to the network. Some networks, again, take a completely different view on this and are okay with having channels of all sorts available to users. Some of these channels can be distasteful. On IRC for fun, for the most part, you'll have to check our acceptable use policy as well as our services guidelines and X registration guidelines, or should I say C-Service Committee guidelines. We do not allow those types of channels. We do not typically seek out or even want to retain such users. We actually pride ourselves on the fact that we may not have as many users as some networks, but we have quality users. Users that really come together and make IRC for fun an awesome environment and an international environment. We love all of our international supporters, and we love that we're able to support them now with a line of servers. Now, there are other things like file sharing, which I mentioned earlier, and trading copyrighted material. Again, some networks allow that. IRC for fun does not. So any bad things that you've typically heard about IRC are not something you would encounter on IRC for fun. We can't promise that you won't stumble upon it, but as soon as we are alerted to it, we take prompt action to remove those channels and users. So, that being said, you may have heard bad things about IRC, and some of those things may be true of other networks. They may be true events that have happened to other networks, stuff like that, but that is generally not tolerated on IRC for fun, and you don't generally need to worry about that. However, disclaimer, with the nature of IRC being an unmoderated medium, we do not monitor anything that passes through our servers for content or clarity. We don't have the ability to see people's private messages to other users. We don't have the ability to see into channels and see what is being discussed if we are not in those channels or if we are not allowed access to join those channels. And we typically do not get involved with channel matters unless there is a concern that is brought up to us. Let's see, what else should you know? IRC is a really, really diverse environment. IRC for fun is actually participating in what we call United International Networks. So that allows us to bridge with other networks and bring you channels that may not necessarily be open on IRC for fun, but they may be open on a linked network, and thus we can share that with you and those users. We do not look at this as a gain for user count. That is not what we use UIN for. So, that being said, I think that pretty much covers everything in this video. I will try to do another video soon, and the next video will actually be a client video. So if you have an IRC for fun, or I'm sorry, if you have an IRC client, let me know what you use. My personal favorite is HexChat, because I can switch between Windows and Linux. And I also love the interface. What is yours? Let us know in the comments. And then if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a like. And if you'd subscribe and turn on notifications, we would greatly appreciate that. And we look forward to bringing you more content soon.